Hi there. I'm gonna teach you some basic foundation leash work. What you use is a regular flat martingale collar. Looks like this. It adjusts. A regular leash. And the first thing I would like you to do in your house, you don't need to do it outside. Show your dog that you have some treats. Let him smell it. And the next thing you do is you just create a little bit of a loose pressure and then ask your dog to come to you. Good. So dogs who are very sensitive on the leash, you have to be very careful the way you apply the pressure on the leash. The neck is very sensitive on the dogs. So you offer the treat, create a little bit of a leash pressure, let the dog come to you, get the treat. Now we will just add another word to that. With the leash on, slight pressure as the dog is sitting. You say the word pressure, come. Let the dog take the treat. Again, a little bit of a pressure, come. Good, good job. So there is no need for yanking or choking. What we need to trigger the dog is to feel the attraction when we create the pressure on the leash. Again, a little bit of a pressure on the leash. Let the dog come to you, get the leash. Get the treat. Now, when the dog is forward on the leash like that, again, just apply a little bit of a pressure. The dog will return, and he has to see your hand to receive the treat. Again, a little bit of a pressure. He gets the treat. Now, when you guys go on the walk, the dog will pay attention to you. The dog will pay attention to you, and so you don't need to use the leash as control. The dog's attention is your control. And you don't need to feed all the time the treats. You just reward the dog for performing. We're not doing that yet. How about you later? Good job. Let's go. See? What you look for is loose leash. Good. Come. Good job. Come. Good. Let's go. So the leash is not for you to control the dog. It's just an emergency. Your words is what makes the dog control. Come. Sit. Shake. Good job. Touch. That was down. Let's try something else. Come. Sit. That was down. Touch. Good. Here you go. So don't get frustrated if the dog doesn't do what you ask him to do. It's about playing a game, and we call that basically a leash game. What we want the dog is to be only restricted how far he can go. We don't restrict the dog to be with us by pulling all the time on the leash. It just creates tension. Good. Let's go. Good. Come. Good job. Come. Sit. Come. Sit. Good. Let's go. So you leave all the time the leash is loose. There's no reason for you to pull. Dogs are very sensitive on the neck, so you want to avoid any harsh corrections. Even if the dog is stressed, he can feel just a milligram of a pressure for him to move on. You see, I just pulled a little bit on the leash and the dog came back to me. Now you can increase that game and make it more fun. And so you see the dog is always in a short distance, 6 feet away from you. Always loose leash and sit. Good. Let's go. Good. It's not a big thing. You don't want the dog to be perfect. It's not about being perfection here on the leash. It's just having fun on the game. And even if the dog wants to be a little bit more snuggly, take your time for that. That's totally fine. Nothing wrong with it. I know some people think like big dogs have to be handled heavy-handed. That's not the need. Big dogs are more sensitive than small dogs. Come. Good. Come. Good. Come. Good job. Let's go. Good. Sit, touch. Good. Here you go. Hope that helps. Let me know how it works. Start inside the house and then expand that in the hallway, in your driveway. And make sure you're starting with loose leash. You always work on loose leash. There's no reason for you to pull hard on the leash or correct the dog. Once he feels comfortable working with you, he will have much fun with you. Enjoy your leash training session. Let me know how that goes. Bye.